The Huawei Mate 40 series is finally here. Since the ban from the US government came into effect in September, many people were afraid that Mate 40 might be released under certain circumstances. Well, it seems that with control in place throughout the supply chain, Huawei has successfully returned the new Mate 40 with the most powerful Android chipset to date, the Kirin 9000 5G. Compared to its predecessor, the phone not only comes with improvements in terms of processing speed, but also with another major improvement. Let's find that out in this video. So without any further delay, let's get started. Before starting, if you are new here, then subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. The best part is it's free. Alright, let's get started with the unboxing. It is a usual Huawei package and there is not much change over there. First up is the device, then a 66-watt charger brick, a USB Type-C cable, a USB Type-C earphones, a flexible clear case, eject tool, and finally a quick starter guide, the warranty card. Let me start this with the design. One of the real tragedies of the trade ban is that it clashed with the introduction of some of the Huawei's finest hardware over the last 3 years. The company has introduced a remarkable body of work all made of very original and eye-catching designs, and Mate 40 Pro is another work of art. The device features a polished glass body and a futuristic central camera module which Huawei calls a space ring inspired by the first picture of the black hole. Similar to the last year Mate 30 and 2020's P40, the screen has Galaxy Edge style curved on the either side. They build a wraparound look at the screen where the bezels virtually disappear. They are still visible on top and bottom but not much. It adds to the overall tidiness of the screen which looks clearer than the Mate 30, with its front camera in the top corner rather than the central notch. There's also a red power button on the side which is beautiful understated touch. My review unit came in a color that Huawei claims is black. The only other available color in Bahrain is Mystic Silver, which is little more enticing as it responds better to light. It also comes in olive green and sunflower yellow, but these fancy shades are only available in China where Huawei is little more value. The Huawei Mate 40 Pro display looks pretty fine. The screen is FHD plus 6.76 inches diagonally, which is pretty high. It has a weird resolution of 2772 by 1344, which is higher than that of many other phones where most of them stick with 1080p, and as a result the picture looks sharp. OLED HDR10 makes pop colors. Huawei reports that 16.7 million colors are shown on the display. Fast screen refresh rates are the new battlefield in the smartphone specs war, but the Huawei Mate 40 Pro caps out at 90 Hz, which some would find a little low for a premium smartphone. But you can dial this down to 60 Hz if you want, which saves the battery, but I went with the dynamic mode option, which switch between the two automatically depending on what you do. If we have one problem with the Mate 40 Pro display, it's the fill-shape cutout that houses the two front-facing cameras on the top left of the frame. It's not exactly thin, with rather a gap between the two lenses, so it cuts a reasonable amount out of your visible field. Swapping to some music, I tried to listen Indian songs and was very pleased with Huawei's decision to ditch the anemic sub-display speaker found on earlier phones. The regular speaker is now burning out of top edge of the handset, leaving the display unblemished and providing a well-balanced tone, but the speaker sways heavily towards the vocal and treble. Okay, before moving on, I want to share this happily with you that we have recently launched a new website, though it is still in the early stages, but you can certainly take a look at it by visiting the website at www.technspiceblog.com. Do sign up for the news feeds to get the latest updates from the tech world. Speaking about the processor, Huawei used its own Kirin 9000 chip. It's a beast of the chipset. This is the industry's first 5nm chipset with a built-in 5G model. The smaller processor and the integrated model should help with both battery life and speed. The Kirin 9000 is a milestone for the performance of the CPU. However, in GPU results, the Kirin 9000 still cannot match its counterpart Qualcomm. Speaking of the software side, you can basically get any Android app you want on the Mate 40 with a bit more effort. Huawei's phone clone app make it easier to get apps you want from your older phone. To know more about the Huawei Phone Clone app, I have already made a video. I will put down the link in the description as well as in the cards above. Then Huawei also launched something called Petrol Search. It is technically a search engine that aggregates search results from APK Mirror, Aptoide, APK Pure, etc. For APK's, issue is the search result contains both APK and XAPK files, a proprietary APK Pure installation kit. It does help, but finding some software and even games is little troublesome. The number of apps in the app gallery has risen, but not to the point that I am going to call it a viable alternative to the Google Play Store or even the third-party apps like the APK Mirror or Aptoide. The Mate 40 Pro is the most powerful Android device I have ever reviewed. These are some of the benchmark tests done on this device. The Huawei Mate 40 Pro features Huawei's own EMUI 11 with an open source version of the Android 11. As you know, US government regulations prohibits companies from doing business with Huawei. The battery life of the Mate 40 Pro is the stellar, and not only once did it struggle to survive the day of the use. Is this because the relative lack of applications means that there were less reason to use the phone? Maybe, but there's definitely more than that. The battery capacity is 4400 mAh, which is about the average for a flagship phone, but all we know that Huawei has some clever software tuning to keep the battery running longer. I say this because the company used the similar optimization to give its wearable a great battery life. Charging here is equally impressive. There is a 66 watts wired charging which will power the phone in less than an hour, and 50 watts wireless charging, which is definitely a rarity in smartphone. I didn't actually get to try this new wireless pad, but if you wanna have it, then you need to buy a separate 50 watt pad from Huawei. And finally, there is a 5 watt wireless reverse charging that lets you control other wireless charging devices using the Huawei Mate 40 Pro as a pad. The biggest attraction on this phone is definitely the huge donut-shaped camera module on the rear, with the major Leica branding standing prominently in the middle of it. Inside the so-called space ring shaped camera bump, we can find the camera combination consists mainly of 3 working cameras and 1 laser sensor. One 50 megapixel ultra vision camera with f1.9 aperture, one 20 megapixel wide angle cine camera with f1.8 aperture, and another 12 megapixel telephoto camera with 5 times optical zoom. The laser assistant sensor does not conduct imaging but can support a faster and more precise focus for other cameras. The photo shot in broader daylight looks pretty fine. There is a lot of info, the dynamic range is just fine. The latest ultra-wide camera is a great surprise. It suits the standard of the main camera with no noticeable color change or other irregularities when moving between the two. It's pretty great but not so ultra-wide. It's an 18mm comparable lens. The main camera balances the exposure well and delivers correct vivid colors. The 50x optical zoom captures impressively accurate images, and there is still a lot of clarity in the pictures even at a 10x zoom. The telephoto lens provides 5x optical zoom, but the 10x hybrid zoom is especially impressive. Often it's much cooler than the optical zoom. Kudos to Huawei for all the tech algorithms that happen behind the scenes. Speaking about the machine algorithm, the master AI takes control of all configuration based on the scene you are filming. Macro shots were far better at optimization than my Mate 20 Pro, which was my daily driver. Also, this will be one of the enticing points for the owners of Mate 30 Pro as well. Low light imaging has always been one of the best features of Huawei. The same applies to the Mate 40 Pro. Night mode algorithms do their job well, and effects are often equivalent to the regular daylight shot. Bear in mind that you are going to need a steady hand and some patience because taking a shot in night mode takes 6 seconds or so. Turning to the front, we get a 13 megapixel ultra vision selfie camera with f2.4 aperture along with a 3D depth sensing camera. The selfie camera creates good images with a healthy skin tone and a reasonable amount of detail. You can turn beauty mode on and off quickly, but either way the results are pretty good. Video was the major priority for the Mate 40 Pro, but there is room for improvement. The stabilization is excellent and I managed to capture smooth footages even though I was walking at a fast speed. There is no doubt that it's a decent camera overall, but a few software tweaks might go a long way to make it a great camera. Beyond the apps, EMUI 11 hides some special changes compared to other Android skin. For example, Huawei continued its system of air gestures which debuted in the Mate 30. This time around, there are more motions that you can use, allowing you to wake up your phone and use a pressing gesture to answer phone calls or play pause media. All this is operated by the same sensor that allows the face recognition, which you can use to protect your phone alongside the Mate 40's fingerprint sensor. If you understand the perfect distance to execute your movements, they are remarkably accurate and quickly to pull out. It's perfect if you're the type of a person who leaves their phone upright while not in the use, or in certain cases like cooking when you want to access the phone but don't want to touch it with your dirty hands. However, left and right navigation movements are limited to a variety of applications which can prove annoying depending on what you do. I found that face recognition is accurate on the Mate 40 Pro, and now the fingerprint unlock is much faster than its predecessors. No other Android creator has properly secured facial recognition like this after Google dropped the motion sense from Pixel 5. That means that the only competitor left for Huawei in the region is the Apple's Face ID. In the absence of Google software and services, Huawei built an impressive flagship phone that is the Mate 40 Pro. It is well built and has an excellent OLED screen and excellent cameras, offer decent battery life, and some nice features are available in EMUI 11. However, the high price and absence of Google cannot of course be overlooked, and when applied to the equation, the Huawei Mate 40 Pro is hard to recommend smartphone, but again, I mean this because of the price only. Here is the offer price available in Bahrain. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. That's it from me today. I hope you liked this video. If yes, then hit the like button and share it with your loved ones. I'll meet you in the next one. Until then, this is Manish. You're watching Technspice. Bye.